15 years ago, our lives were changed forever, but there's still a group of committed individuals who are trying to bring it back. What you're looking at right now is actually an advertisement by architects and engineers directly targeting David Sanger, a New York Times chief correspondent who made those statements about 9/11. And we are right now outside the New York Times building with Richard Gage of Architects and Engineers, with Eric Lawyer, with Firefighters for 9/11 Truth and Unity. Those individuals who are trying to reassess everything that happened to bring back things to normal, because obviously after 9/11, everything has changed. Now, Richard, tell us about this advertisement that is right outside the New York Times, right going after a New York Times journalist. Yeah. What's going on?
This is the chief Washington correspondent for the New York Times, David Sanger, who says we've not found any evidence so far to suggest that building collapses were caused by anything other than the airplanes. Well, clearly he hasn't been looking, because we've been after him for years. And so here it is, the towers blowing up right in front of him, visually apparent, streaming laterally ejected structural steel sections 60 miles an hour laterally landing 600 feet in every direction, trailed by thick cloud plumes. So we've got to have somebody from some mainstream media, why not David Sanger himself, who claims ignorance but is obviously ignoring everything we've been telling him about near freefall descent, symmetry, total pulverized concrete, explosive hurling of structural steel, molten metal, isolated explosive ejections, traces of incendiaries, thermite, an incendiary used by the military to cut through steel like a hot knife through butter, and reports of explosions from 156 first responders, not unlike Eric Lawyer of Firefighters for 9/11 Truth and Unity.
Yep. And now many people need to know this. Richard Gage has founded a very important organization of professional architects and engineers that question the official version of events behind 9/11. He has done a tremendous amount of work throughout the years. Eric and Richard are doing a lot of amazing, important events right now here in New York City, just trying to raise the consciousness, just trying to make people think about a little bit about that important day. But what's the latest? How many new architects and engineers are on board who are pushing for the truth behind that fateful day?
Now we have 2,300 architects and engineers, all demanding a new investigation, 200 firefighters demanding a new investigation. We've actually made a film, Eric and I, and together on the platform, we're now talking about the gross abuse of preservation of evidence, the gross abuse of reporting all of the evidence found at the crime scene and not burying any of it, or explosive testimony omitted by the NIST report. So we put all this, Eric and I, together into Firefighters, Architects and Engineers Expose 9/11 Myths. Friday, September 11th, tonight, 7 p.m., the world premiere right here. And tomorrow there's many other speakers all day at the same event, all-day symposium, INN World Report hosted symposium tomorrow.
Now, I wanted to ask you guys, how do we move forward? It's been 14 years already. Eric, what is your thoughts? What is your process, especially with the organization and everything that you've been doing here as well?
Thank you, Luke. I stepped back in because, almost 5 years ago is when I stepped out. And I stepped out for a lot of different reasons. And I realized the approach I had wasn't working. So I've spent the last almost 4.5 years reanalyzing and coming up with a new approach. And what that is, it's just like a fire department. Fire department is very important to alert people that there's a fire, but really the focus needs to be on putting that fire out once we know. Architects and Engineers and WeAreChange has done an incredible job letting people know the world's on fire. And that's what I'm here for now, is with a new piece to help, how do we apply the fire department model to start putting these out? And what that looks like is what I'm calling a unity department. So we have our fire departments to put out metaphoric or physical fires. We need unity departments to put out our metaphorical fires. And it's looking like Colorado, actually, with WeAreChange and a few other groups there sponsoring this. It looks like that might be the location for the first community, the local level community unity department. And that's where my primary focus will be. And our website's there for people to look at to see the NFPA versus, what the NFPA is, the National Fire Protection Association. 921 is the guidebook, and it's the national standards on how an investigation should be done. And NIST, and what we do is we just make visible what NIST actually did. And they did not follow the national standards, the basic routine procedures. They actually didn't even use any physical evidence in their investigation for World Trade Center 7, which was the first 47-story, any high-rise that ever collapsed from fire. And that was what they ruled it. So we're here to make that visible, but our focus will be on unity departments, a worldwide unity service, and that's where we're inviting people in now. They can go to our website, and if you're interested in this, it's in the very early phases, and when we're ready for the next step, if you let us know you want to participate, we'll let you know what it's going to look like.
Now, there's many forces who are against anyone even just raising questions to try to find out what really happened on that day so we could actually prevent it, which makes common sense in the first place. There's government institutions, there's scientific institutions, there's mainstream media institutions, all of the higher echelons, they're all interconnected within each other, who are all covering up just a huge crime that has happened on that day. But I don't know if you guys believe this, but the only thing that could ever stop truth is if individuals stop speaking it. And I'm very happy for both of you guys who are speaking it. Is there anything else that you guys want to say?
Thanks, Luke. This is the crime of the century, and they've gotten away with it so far. But there's a growing number of 9/11 truth activists, growing by millions every year. So we're asking everybody to do something. Send the ae911truth.org link out to every architect, engineer you can find. Send the firefighters for 9/11truthandunity.org link to every firefighter, and let people know the truth so that they have a chance to wake up from the programming that we have been instilled with that says conspiracy theory if you don't see it on CNN.
Yep, that's true. Eric?
And my last piece is, no matter who you believe did it, whether you're a 9/11 truther or not, what's clear is we have metaphorical fires going on. We see them everywhere, so we need to set aside our differences. Just like if our neighbor's house was on fire, we wouldn't argue over who did it, how they started it before we'd help them. So we're inviting people in to start putting these fires out together with more love and compassion in our communities, and if you want to help, we'd love the help. Thank you.
Coming together, speaking the truth, not being afraid to actually voice your opinions is extremely important right now, and the only thing that could ever stop us is our own silence. So don't be silenced. YouTube will, of course, down throttle this video, demonetize this video, make sure an independent journalist like myself won't be able to sustain and live doing this, but I don't care. The truth is stronger than anything else, so do not forget to share this video with your friends. Let people know that we are not silent. We are not giving up. The truth is more important than anything else. Thank you again so much for watching.